Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So, just recently, the entire internet, and by the internet, I mean Twitter, YouTube, and most of Instagram, has been in an uproar because of this live that Meg the Stallion got on and did just recently. In said live, she was ranting about two main things. One was the infamous line that she put in her new song by the name of Cobra that had all of her fans and her supporters, if you will, thinking that her ex-boyfriend Pardi cheated on her, and they brought back up for whatever reason, because it's been almost 4 years now after the fact. Almost 4 years. They brought up the trial, the Tory Lanez trial, and what happened with her being shot back during the pandemic in 2020. In the true fashion of our generation, our culture's way, when it comes to these kind of debacles on the internet, people divided themselves. They fed into the gender war. Some people took partisan side and said, oh, Meg, you're not taking responsibility for what you did. And then some people were taking Meg's side saying, well, Pardi, if you did that, if the shoe fits, if the black Air Force One fits, you should have wore that thing. Now, let me give you a quick summary, like I said, of all of this. So she puts the line in the song claiming that one of her exes or somebody who she used to date, or well, she didn't specify, she didn't name the person, was doing certain things that a person who's already in a relationship with somebody should not be doing with another person in their bed, etc. All of her fans, all of the crazy people who worship the ground that she walks on, assumed that it was Pardi, and they went in on him. They went in on him real bad. Allegedly, the song was released on Pardi's daughter's birthday or something to that nature, and she happened to see a lot of the very disparaging tweets being made towards her father because, like I said, her fans tried to put two and two together, thinking that it was him that she was talking about, and then she showed him the tweets, and then he felt a certain kind of way because she never once came out and said, hey, it wasn't him that I was talking about. It was some past boyfriend. Now, here's the first issue that I have with that. If it was not him, why didn't you say that? People keep forgetting that these celebrities have a lot of power. They could say one thing on the internet, and the crazy people, like I said, that follow them, that worship the ground they walk on, will take it and run with it and do crazy things. Allegedly, this man was getting death threats because she would not open her mouth and say it was not him that cheated on her, it was somebody else. Now, he made a diss track of his own talking about a bunch of other stuff, putting stuff out there about her business that really was unnecessary for any of us to know. Once again, this is why a lot of celebrities have other people sign NDAs so that if they fall out or God forbid they do something that they really shouldn't be anyways, the person won't go sploosh all their information to the blogs. But I'm not here for this tit for tat, if you will. I'm not here for this thinking, this ideology of, oh, well, this person did this to me, so I'm going to get them back by doing this, especially when it comes to, once again, taking y'all's business to social media. And I know that's how people make their money. People like them, rappers, singers, artists. But once again, I was never a fan of people putting somebody else's business out there. Keep it to yourselves. We don't need to know. We didn't want to know. If y'all just want to get back at the people who y'all were with for what they did, even though you knew they were probably raggedy to begin with, and then make money on top of that, just say that. So at first, everybody was calling out Meg the Stallion, saying, now, if you know that this dude didn't cheat on you and you put this in here and you didn't clarify that it wasn't him and had all your followers roasting him and you knew that they were going to do that, you knew this. She's not stupid. She might be young, but she's not stupid. She might make stupid decisions, but she knows what she's doing. And they were saying, now, if you did this and you knew it wasn't him that did this, then you should have said that. And the fact that you didn't and you waited until he retaliated and got drug fulfilled by your followers says a lot about you. But I was trying to point that out all the way back whenever we made the videos here on Yoshi Entertainment concerning that trial. First of all, she's a liar. She has a lack of a sense of accountability that her followers, her fans, refuse to admit that she has. I had mentioned that, like I said, a while ago. Like when she was going around doing the Boo-Hoo tour, talking about she didn't sleep with him, only for us to find out, well, we all already knew that she was lying through her freaking teeth, that she did screw Tory Lanez, and that she had lied with every podcast, with every sit down, whatever meeting that she had up until she had to tell the truth in court. So like I said, right then and there, I had already peeped that she was raggedy. Now, the part where I didn't care for Pardi either, because like at this point, I have no dog in this fight. Both of them are raggedy if you ask me. And the reason why I say that is because, first of all, if she put that in the song and everybody is already assuming that you cheated on her. Her fans and followers are literally allegedly sending him death threats, dragging him for filth all up and down social media. They are literally burning him at the stake. Why in the world would he pour fuel on his own fire by making that goofy behind post that he made? Whatever that post was that had Future and whatever that boy, Tristan Thompson, which we all know them as the habitual cheaters of the industry. Why in the world would you post that? Like, that was stupid. I don't think people really understand that, how stupid that was. You're already being accused of that. You're already getting massive backlash. And instead of just saying, oh, I didn't do it, you tried to make a joke out of it. And you only made it worse for yourself. Even if he hadn't cheated, that was still a stupid thing for him to do. And how old is Pardi? He is too old to be doing stuff like this, to be moving like this. That's another thing that we need to point out. And another reason why I said he's just as raggedy as Meg the Stallion, he got onto a podcast and they asked him, okay, well, did you cheat? They were trying to give him, the open mic to clear his name, to speak for himself. And for whatever goofy reason, first he said, oh, no, I didn't cheat. And then on another podcast, he said, oh, well, I didn't cheat first, insinuating that he cheated after she cheated. Now, a lot of people were saying a lot of his resentment towards her was because she didn't tell him all the people that she had gotten involved with before he got into a relationship with her. And again, I feel like that goes into that whole body count thing. And this is the thing with me. I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can say, oh, that's cap. I don't care. That whole body count thing needs to go in the trash. I know he wasn't worried about that whenever he knew he had the opportunity to be in a relationship with her, to screw her and be in proximity to all of her fame. And even if it did just bother him so much, I'm still holding him accountable for making the dumb decision of being with her. She wasn't the Virgin Mary. She never made it seem like she was some chaste individual. She's not a Christian. She has made it pretty blatantly clear that her persona, her gimmick, is to sleep around. She is the hot girl. What did you expect? Like again, another stupid thing for him to do. You were not sleeping, once again, with the Virgin Mary. You didn't get with a Christian. You didn't get with some chaste individual. You got with Hot Girl Summer. What did you expect? And to expect anything else different, once again, I'm trying to understand where was the intelligence concerning the two of them, for that matter. Both of them cheated on each other. Both of them are raggedy. Both of them did dumb stuff that they shouldn't have. And once again, I'm still trying to wrap my head around. Once again, this dude is like how much older than she is. I just found out that this dude is almost twice this girl's age. So you got into a relationship, once again, with a young woman that's almost half your age, who's very immature, who has displayed a pattern of immature behavior, bad decision making. And you still decided to be in a relationship with her, then want to be shooketh when she displays bad decision-making behavior, immature behavior. Like I said, stupid on his part. Y'all can say what y'all want to, but both of them were ridiculous. Both of them just need to go ahead and take their L's and get off the internet and stop acting like victims. Because at this point, both of them are giving victim complex, and I'm not here for it. I don't care what her cuckoo fans think. I don't care what anybody who wants to fuel the gender war thinks. Both of them are raggedy. I said what I said. Now, moving on to them bringing up the trial again. People just will not let it go that Tory Lanez caught these charges and that he is in prison now. Okay, I get it. Some people felt a certain kind of way about him. They felt like Meg the Stallion was lying. I admitted once again in the trial videos that I made not too long ago that she established a pattern of a lack of credibility once again when she lied about sleeping with him. She lied about a lot of stuff. So it ruined her credibility. So that made her questionable, first of all. So I don't blame people for questioning her story, the validity of her story, whether she actually got shot by him, because, like I said, she's a liar. She's proved that she does lie. One of the big issues that was a part of that rant was whenever people were saying, they were trying to hold her accountable, basically, for saying, okay, KELSEY was your best friend. I'm not sure. Like I said before, if I was not mistaken and if I had everything right, allegedly, Tory Lanez was messing with KELSEY first, then Meg the Stallion decided to be a horrendous friend and stab her supposed best friend in the back by messing with him as well. And even if they weren't really a thing, why would you do that? You know your friend is messing with somebody and you're going to go behind her back or in front of her face, for that matter, and mess with somebody who you thought or who you knew that your friend might have been interested in. Like I said, it's giving a horrible friend. It's giving a backstabbing friend vibes. And then when everybody tried to make her the face of protecting black women, she set out whole diss tracks, threatening diss tracks against her best friend, another black woman. A lot of people were bringing this up, especially when she said on the live, which I felt like she was full of it for saying, I've said before, these celebrities are full of it. But when she said, oh, well, Kelsey was talking about, why won't you tell everybody that I didn't shoot you? And she said, well, why don't you say you didn't shoot me? Like, I don't want to talk about it on the internet. But you were going around to Gayle King. You were going around saying you didn't sleep with Tory Lanez. You were doing diss tracks. So it's like, once again, a lack of accountability. You throwing it off on other people and being the victim. The reason why she asked you to tell everybody that she didn't shoot you, if that was the truth, was because, of course, people would feel like, well, of course, she would say that she didn't shoot you, Meg Thee Stallion. She doesn't want to be pinned for charges, whether she did it or not. It would have been more impactful coming from Megan's mouth because Megan was the one who got shot. Megan was the one that people would have listened to if she would have just said, oh, yeah, Kelsey didn't do it. But she refused to do that, but had the audacity once again to do diss tracks and sit down with Gayle King. So that's why I said she was full of it when she said that, because she could have helped her friend, saved her friend from getting drugged by social media, other black women, possibly getting death threats also after they all thought that she did it. She could have quieted those rumors. She could have done something, but she did not. But then she wants to be upset whenever her friend comes out to confront her about her lack of accountability, her lack of action. That's this back and forth that I've noticed with Meg Thee Stallion. It's like she throws rocks and hides her hands, and then when people confront her about the rocks that she threw because they saw her throw them, she wants to once again play the victim and throw all the accountability off of herself and onto other people, when she literally had the ability to help solve some of this stuff, to help put some of this stuff to rest, to help fix some of it and make it not go as crazy as it's gone and gotten to this point now. Now, because this case got brought up again in this rant, in this, live that she went on, people were talking about again, oh, well, we need to talk about Tory Lanez and he needs to get his case, retried and all this kind of stuff. And people keep forgetting, there are some people trying to point this out, but people keep forgetting that, first of all, she didn't even intend on pressing charges whenever this first happened. As a matter of fact, whenever he first got arrested, he didn't get arrested for shooting Meg Thee Stallion. He got arrested for the possession of a firearm that was unregistered and for firing said firearm, if I'm not mistaken. Now, remember, people want to say, they bring up all this stuff, and this is almost kind of sounding like another certain trial that's going on right now. I'll be really questioning whether or not these lawyers that's helping these dudes out here are really in this to help them. Low-key, I be feeling like these are some double agents as lawyers, but that could just be me, that could just be a reach. But sometimes I really be thinking, with the way some of these lawyers be moving on these people's behalves, I'll be really thinking they be actually out there to get them in prison and not keep them out of prison. But the reason why I said that was because one of his own witnesses, and I'm talking about Tory Lanez, wasn't it one of his own witnesses that said he saw Tory Lanez fire 4 to 5 shots in the air? That's another charge that he caught, actually. Basically firing said unregistered firearm with gross negligence. Now, some people were trying to say that the reason why he did that was because they were trying to allege that Kelsey was the one who had the gun originally, that she was fighting with Meg Thee Stallion, she was fighting with Tory Lanez, they were trying to get the gun from her, and that Tory Lanez tried to take the gun from her and empty the clip, if you will, so that nobody would get shot. I'm still trying to figure out, months after this case has already been closed, where all these alleged witnesses came from out of the woodwork, because they were sure coming out of the woodwork left and right. But another one of them came out and said, which again is why people were doubling down on the fact that they felt like Tory and Kelsey were fighting over the gun, or at least Meg and Kelsey were fighting over the gun, because he alleged that he saw a gun muzzle flash go off closest to the feet, allegedly, of Kelsey. Once again, that is why a lot of people thought that she was the shooter instead of Tory. Now, allegedly, she pled the fifth and got an immunity deal, and a lot of people were like, that's bull crap. Clearly, you did something illegal, because that's what you're trying to hide by doing that. I originally thought it was because she attacked Meg Thee Stallion and she didn't want to get charges for assaulting the woman, but I could be wrong. That's just speculation. Some people are speculating that the gun was actually hers, but it was unregistered, and she didn't want to catch charges for having that unregistered gun and bringing it to that debauchery that they got into, which is why she allegedly did what she did. But once again, that's all speculation and allegation. Now, once again, let me go ahead and make this clear. Because some people will swear that this dude didn't shoot her. I'm not here to say that he did or he didn't. I'm outside of the situation. But even if he didn't, this is what I will say. Even if he didn't, he still has charges that got him put behind bars. Mind y'all, this dude was going around racking up all kinds of charges prior to the trial even taking place. Like, people keep forgetting that wasn't he on parole? And he also, after this all happened, got put on a protection order. He was supposed to stay away from Meg Thee Stallion 100 feet, if you will. And then he went to the Rolling Loud concert. Allegedly, she was there. They didn't actually see each other, but it was deemed that he violated that protection order by even being there to begin with while she was there. So he got in trouble for that. Then he allegedly put hands on August Alsina. I know y'all didn't forget about that. The dude was minding his literal business and he ran up on him and put hands on him. We have to say allegedly. But after all of that, allegedly, got the ankle monitor put on him as well. Also, another thing that I feel like people are not considering, if I'm not mistaken and if I have it all correctly and I've ascertained it all correctly, once again, Megan did not press charges against him. It was not Megan versus Tory Lanez. It was the state versus Tory Lanez. The state was the one who picked up the charges. And in all of the discovery process, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, that's when everything else got brought in. And a lot of people feel like, also like another certain case that's going on right now, they feel like, oh, well, if something didn't happen or happened that's not pertaining to what we're actually at court at, that shouldn't be considered. It shouldn't be brought up in court. They can do whatever they want to do when they're in court. You're the one on trial. You're the one who did the crime. You're in their court system, in their courtroom. They gonna do what they want to do. Point, period, blank. That's what some people need to wrap their heads around. Once you've crossed certain boundaries, once you've gone so far, once you've jumped off one too many deep ends, it's out of your control. And this is all put on top of the fact that Tory Lanez is not even from the United States. He's Canadian. So you're over here on foreign soil committing all kinds of heinous crimes involving unlicensed and unregistered guns. You know how some people feel in certain states about that, especially with all of the fatalities we have with guns in our country, especially compared to other countries. So the point of all this, once again, is even if he had not shot her, he'd still be in prison. Why? Because he had, once again, an unregistered firearm. He fired it with gross negligence. Even if he was trying to empty it once again to keep somebody from getting hurt, he still picked it up when he wasn't supposed to, fired it, which he definitely wasn't supposed to do. And he already, like I said, had a bunch of stuff that he was already dealing with. Charges he was already dealing with, stuff he had already done. Once again, if y'all don't think these judges, these people at the top, aren't going to hold people accountable for all this extra stuff, even once again, if that's not what they're on trial for, think again. All the details matter and they gonna make it matter even if it don't. And one last piece to this, I'm fist to make up a word, debaucherous story that you can't make this stuff up, folks. You just can't. So the infamous bodyguard, who, if I'm not mistaken, was the fourth person that wasn't drunk because, to my knowledge and understanding, he was the driver and the bodyguard. Now, the very last day of the trial, allegedly, was when they finally were able to get him there. But for some reason, they decided not to put him on the stand. Now, it's to my understanding, allegedly, that they would have had to, I guess, brief him before. They couldn't just throw him up on the stand the last day of the trial without preparing him. But that would have made the trial take longer. It would have extended the trial. And at that point, I think they were just ready to get it over with. But if a witness as crucial as the one person in the car, besides the three stooges who made, like I said back then, and I'm going to say it again, the stupidest line of decisions leading up to this, all three of them were morbidly stupid. I said what I said. But the one person who was very crucial, a very crucial witness that was there, that wasn't drunk, that could tell the whole story, I don't care if that trial had been going on for 50 days, for 40 days and 40 nights. They should have extended that trial so that they could get him on the stand so that he could clear up some of this. Because really, he was the only person who could. But for some reason, like I said, they decided not to put him up there. Allegedly, it was because they didn't want to drag on the trial any longer. And because it was the holidays, allegedly. But he gave a very brief summary in his statement, basically confirming what a lot of people have been speculating since day one. He mentioned that the fight first started between Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Then it escalated with them telling him to pull over, getting out of the car, getting back in the car, pulling over, them fighting. Then finally, Tory spilled the beans. Like I said, what we've all been saying this entire time, that to some degree, as he mentioned, Tory and KELSEY were fooling around, and Meg was a horrendous friend, a raggedy friend, a ratchet friend, and stabbed her supposed best friend in the back. Who even needs enemies when you've got people who label themselves your best friends like that? When he finally lets the cat out of the bag, I'm guessing in some sort of jacked up admission of guilt, or just because he didn't want to keep the mess going, he knew that they were going to find out eventually anyways, they all proceeded to get out of the car and fight like cats and dogs. The bodyguard / driver was trying to break it up. They didn't got him involved in some hot mess he didn't sign up for. Finally, in the middle of all this fighting, he revealed something that, like I said, many people have been speculating that we needed him to say on the stand, but they would not let him, allegedly. That crucial moment that he saw that piece of information that we needed was basically when, at some point in time during all the fighting, he turned around and he saw KELSEY with the gun in her hand, struggling with Meg Thee Stallion. Now, I said before, I don't know if I made it a point to say it whenever I first made these videos, but once again, I felt like, allegedly, assuming that the reason why KELSEY allegedly pled the fifth or got the immunity deal was because she fought with Meg Thee Stallion and she didn't want any charges for fighting with Meg Thee Stallion. Now, if she had the gun originally, that would explain why she did what she did, because she didn't want to get charges, be slapped with charges for having an unregistered gun as well. And gross negligence, because you fighting with a gun that you brought to the fight, that's pretty negligent as well. She could have shot herself. She could have shot Tory. She could have shot somebody in that neighborhood. A bullet could have went through somebody's house or window. Somebody could have been walking their dog or taking out the trash, and if she would have shot that gun by mistake, they could have gotten shot. She could have shot Jaquan. And if I'm not mistaken, in his address, he even mentioned that he was very happy that he didn't get harmed doing all that stupid tomfoolery. Now, while he did say he saw her with the gun first, obviously, fighting with Meg Thee Stallion, trying to get the thing away from them, and then Tory grabbed it, or tried to grab it and get it away from them. He said also he didn't actually see who shot Meg Thee Stallion. KELSEY is still suspicious to me because one moment she said, "Oh, I don't recall," and then the next moment she basically said, "Oh yeah, that ninja is the one who shot her." And on top of that, even if she didn't shoot Meg, whether it was by accident or intentional, she still brought a gun to the fight, allegedly. She still could have accidentally shot her when they were fighting over the gun. So she doesn't get brownie points, like I said, even if she didn't shoot her, because she still brought the gun. In conclusion, like I said before, all of these celebrities are full of it, and we all know what it is. The devil, stupidity, and nothing good. Meg Thee Stallion needs to grow up. She needs to mature. She needs to learn a sense of accountability. She also needs to get some therapy, which I know her goofy behind can afford. And she needs a relationship with God, which is free, quite literally. Because her using her trauma and the things that happened in her life and her past as an excuse to allegedly drink like a fish, and on top of that, make consistently bad decisions and do ratchet stuff, it's very tiresome. Once again, if y'all are unfamiliar with the channel, over here at Yoshi Entertainment, we don't put up with people who use their trauma as an excuse to do dumb stuff, to make bad decisions, and to throw people under the bus and treat people wrong. It's unacceptable. Pardi needs to grow up too. I said what I said. At his big age and with a daughter, he can't be making some of the goofy mistakes and moves that he's been making, and he needs to date somebody his age for that matter too. KELSEY is also full of it, just right along with the rest of them. I'm not going to even say nothing about Tory in this video because he's a whole video by himself, and I feel real bad for Jaquan. Once again, they drug him into some mess that he did not sign up for. I know he's a bodyguard, but that hot debauchery, like I said, he didn't sign up for that. He didn't deserve that. That man's life probably flashed before his eyes when she pulled that gun out. I hope that man paid him good. I hope he pays to retire him, buy him a private jet and a Lamborghini, because at this point, he deserves it. He deserves everything, especially after putting up with the Three Stooges and their hot pot of tomfoolery. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below. Respectfully, don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.